The streets of New York City are no stranger to crime, but even the most hardened detectives were shocked by the brazen assassination of Brian Thompson, CEO of UnitedHealthcare. Thompson, a titan in the healthcare industry, was gunned down outside a bustling Hilton hotel, the venue for the company's annual investor conference. The audacity of the attack, carried out in broad daylight amidst a crowd of onlookers, sent shockwaves through the city and the nation. Witnesses described a scene of chaos and terror as the gunman, seemingly unafraid of the potential consequences, fired multiple shots at Thompson, striking him in the back and leg before disappearing into the labyrinthine city. The targeted nature of the attack immediately raised red flags for law enforcement. This was no random act of violence, but a carefully planned hit on a high-profile target. Thompson, a man accustomed to moving in circles of power, had become the victim of a cold-blooded execution. As investigators began piecing together the events leading up to the shooting, they discovered that Thompson had received threats, their nature shrouded in secrecy. The question on everyone's mind was who would want Brian Thompson dead and why. The search for Thompson's killer became a top priority for law enforcement, with the NYPD vowing to bring the perpetrator to justice. The suspect, described by witnesses as a light-skinned male wearing a nondescript brown jacket and a black face mask, seemed to vanish into thin air after the shooting. He was last seen fleeing the scene on an electric bike, disappearing into the maze of streets and alleys that define New York City. Despite the city's extensive network of surveillance cameras, the killer seemed to have evaded capture at every turn, leaving investigators with more questions than answers. The lack of a clear motive only deepened the mystery surrounding Thompson's murder. Was this a professional hit, ordered by a business rival or a disgruntled employee? Or was there a more personal vendetta at play, a hidden chapter in Thompson's life that had turned deadly? As days turned into nights, the pressure mounted on investigators to find the killer and provide answers to a city on edge. The longer the killer remained at large, the more the fear and uncertainty would grow, casting a long shadow over the city that never sleeps. The assassination of Brian Thompson sent shockwaves through the world of healthcare, as UnitedHealthcare, the company he had steered for nearly 2 decades, found itself thrust into the media spotlight. As one of the largest health insurance providers in the United States, UnitedHealthcare wielded immense power and influence. Thompson's death exposed the company to a level of scrutiny it had never before experienced. Earlier that year, Change Healthcare, a subsidiary, suffered a massive cyber attack, compromising sensitive health information. The breach sparked outrage and calls for accountability. Adding to the turmoil, the Department of Justice filed a lawsuit to block UnitedHealth Group's acquisition of Amedisys Inc. The lawsuit alleged that the acquisition would stifle competition. Thompson's death came at a time when the company was already grappling with these challenges, leaving its future uncertain. Section 4. Thompson's Legacy and the Uncertain Future of UnitedHealthcare. Brian Thompson's death left a void at the helm of UnitedHealthcare, raising questions about the company's future direction. Known for his sharp business acumen and unwavering commitment to growth, Thompson had been instrumental in transforming UnitedHealthcare into a behemoth of the healthcare industry. He had spearheaded the company's expansion into new markets, including the lucrative Medicare Advantage sector, where UnitedHealthcare had become a dominant force. His sudden absence left a leadership vacuum at a critical juncture for the company. Thompson's legacy, however, was not without its critics. Some accused him of prioritizing profits over patients, pointing to UnitedHealthcare's history of denying claims and limiting coverage for essential medical treatments. Others questioned the company's aggressive lobbying efforts, which they saw as an attempt to undermine the Affordable Care Act and limit access to affordable healthcare for millions of Americans. As UnitedHealthcare navigated the aftermath of Thompson's death, it faced the daunting task of addressing these criticisms while charting a course for the future. The company's next CEO would inherit not only Thompson's mantle, but also the challenges and controversies that came with it. Section 5. The Quest for Justice and a Nation on Edge. The manhunt for Brian Thompson's killer gripped the nation, becoming a grim reminder of the vulnerability of even the most powerful figures. As weeks turned into months, the lack of concrete leads fueled speculation and conspiracy theories. Some whispered that Thompson's murder was a message, a warning shot across the bow of the healthcare industry. Others pointed to his personal life, searching for a hidden scandal or a long-forgotten enemy. The truth, however, remained elusive, buried beneath layers of conjecture and innuendo. In an era defined by social media and instant news, the story of Brian Thompson's murder spread like wildfire, fueling anxieties about crime, healthcare, and the very fabric of American society. As the search for Thompson's killer continued, it served as a sobering reminder that in a world of immense wealth and influence, no one is beyond the reach of violence or the shadow of tragedy.